So I am going to read you guys something that, in true honesty, might infuriate you. Um, it infuriates me a lot. It infuriates me to a point where I am very weirded out about the idea of what this person is talking about. I'm very weirded out that he actually had the audacity, which true honestly, I'm surprised he had the balls to actually put this out there. But let me read this. And just bear with me. I know you saw the title. I know what you're thinking, but this is not what it is that you're thinking. Hear me out. Women in the FGC are the ugly girls from high school that never got the attention they desperately wanted. Their crushes didn't want them. The hot chicks talk shit about them. Invisible. Now that they're older, they got a bit more attractive. Still ugly compared to normal society, and use the FGC to seek attention from awkward dorks and a niche community to fill the empty void from high school. Around 2016, you'd be surprised how many of these e-girls would sleep around with the top players for free flights to events. I wouldn't be surprised if that's still happening. Not to mention now, 90% of the e-girls in the FGC want to funnel their OnlyFans fansleys to these desperate FGC losers. Women in the FGC are either e-girls or trans, not women. Get women out of gaming. Oh my god. First of all, I don't know where the fuck someone comes into this point where they think they're talking for me. Motherfucker, you don't speak for me. You don't talk for me in any fucking instance. And, here's what bothers me. I go to certain areas where, people are like, oh, these guys, they're looking for their FGC boyfriends because they're trying to go ahead and get free flights, free this, free that. Let me ask you a question. If they're trying to fund their OnlyFans, which most likely some of them already had their OnlyFans and their Fansly funded, why the fuck would they need any type of these guys to give them free flights? They would literally have enough money to go ahead and get their own flights. They wouldn't care. Plus, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of these girls would not want to be near the FGC communities because just like fucking Smash competitive fucking tournaments or Smash events, a lot of the FGC places tend to be filled with very big weirdos and very big people to a point where they do the negative things, and where it gets to a point where also things like bad smelling areas happen. Now, this is a reason why a lot of women don't play video games. It's because of fucking idiots like this. Before we get into Dalton actually used to be a prior event coordinator, but now he is blacklisted, which is very, very bad. The fact that you're blacklisted automatically, just right there, it kind of questions why the hell you're blacklisted. And it's also for the fact of, maybe I can't take your word for shit. I can't take your word from anything. A lot of these female players are in big games, are in big areas, are in big places, and now the fact that all of a sudden that they're playing video games, oh, they just want to go ahead and patent their OnlyFans or their Fansleys. Not every single one of them does that. Not every single one of them does that. Some of them do arts and crafts. Some of them do like certain areas, and some of them are bigger gamers than you, my friend. You know what's weird to me? I'm going to say this. I met a lot of people who don't understand the idea that, women actually like to play video games. You are in no position to go ahead and tell them, oh, you know what? Women should stay out of gaming. Women should do this. Like, my guy. You know for a fact that you fucked up and saying something crazy like this, that your account on Twitter got removed, right? You don't speak for us. Video games are made for everyone. Video games are made for men, women, transgender, bisexual, gay, LGBTQ plus, anybody. Because they're media. Media is consumed by anybody. Guess what? We, who have a sense of dignity and a sense of humility and a sense of commonly good morals, we don't care if a woman plays a video game. You know how many men in this world who wants to date a girl who plays video games? Shit. I'm telling you right now, if a girl that I'm dating tells me, he's like, hey, can you teach me how to play Minecraft? Or can you teach me how to play Marvel Rivals? Or or like somehow, oh, can we play some Diablo together? I would be freaking happier than anything. A lot of women, I don't really say a lot of women, but some women out there think that men playing video games is the most unattractive thing. But then when you find an actual good person or a good woman, for me, it would be a woman, since I am a heterosexual male. If I get my girlfriend or my wife asking, hey, can you teach me how to play this? I would be ecstatic. But a lot of women stay away from these areas because of this mindset that you have. And because of that stupid mindset, it's exactly why you're blacklisted and you're not allowed to do fucking events. But now all of a sudden you want to be a political commentator and you want to talk about things about, like, you know, how women should be removed out of gaming. Absolutely not. You know, women have been part of gaming to a point where the first developer was around the 1980s. Women have always been part of gaming, whether they're playing video games or whether or not they're making them. Because guess what? A lot of women didn't play video games back then because a lot of people thought that video games were just made for boys. But now that women are actually playing video games, guess what? It's a good thing. It's definitely a great thing. Women have been part of video games. But this isn't the only clown that says something stupid. Let me go ahead and go to this guy right here. My brother in Christ here. Beard Son Beardly. So here is my weird. This is where I get a little bit frustrated. DEI is a problem, but the real issue is that majority of gamers are male. It is a male-dominated space, and no one makes games for men anymore. Women simply do not play video games. What are you saying right now? What are you saying right now? It got to a point that women didn't play video games because, yes, they were like, oh, you know what? Video games are only targeted for males. No, they weren't. They were targeted for media. Which part of Metroid was targeted for males? Everybody flipped their shit. It was like someone in space going ahead and shooting aliens, and then automatically the helmet came off. Boom, it was a chick. Okay, I'm not understanding. Now all of a sudden, women want to go ahead and talk about video games, want to play video games, want to stream video games. All of a sudden, it's weird. Women do not simply play for video games. My brother in Christ, I do not need to be hearing a talk about what women want or what women don't do from a guy that looks like this. And I'm sorry for throwing shade, but then at one point it gets to a point like you are not to speak about shit like this like you're speaking for me. I'm not asking you to speak for me, say something for me. No, mofo. No. We ain't doing this. This isn't a thing. This isn't something that you should be saying. This isn't something that you should be saying out there. As I said, you want women to go ahead and play video games? Then guess what? Bring it into a space where women can actually have fun with the guys. You know, when I was younger, you know who used to play video games a lot with me and my brother? It wasn't my grandfather. It wasn't my dad. My dad would play Street Fighter 2 once in a while. You know who would play video games most of the time? My grandma. My grandma would play Super Mario. She'll play Mega Man. She'll play Sonic. She'll play all of that. I'm not understanding. But you want to take women out of video games, or you want to say women simply don't play video games. Obviously, you don't speak to a lot of women. You go to conventions, you would be surprised of how many women know so much more about video games than most of the guys. You would be surprised of how many women know about things from video games or how games are created more than the guys. It's a weird concept that people think that they could talk about something that they don't know about. Obviously, Beardson, you don't know anything about talking about women. You don't speak to women. Obviously, you don't talk to women in any type of manner. You're talking about as if you know women. You don't. You see, women don't get into video games because of stupid, toxic bullshit like this. All right? And this shit is not necessary. This shit is not to a point where, hey, guess what? You're going to go ahead and comment on something you know nothing about. Women don't play video games because of this type of shit right here. This shit is not necessary. You don't speak for us. And people, especially on this goddamn platform on like X, they need to stop speaking for us like they know what they're talking about. It's getting ridiculous.